Jeroboam II, everybody's favorite king. You haven't heard of him? Well, in the biblical story, we find that the kings of the kingdom of Israel start off with Saul, David, Solomon. Then the kingdom splits. You have the northern kingdom of Israel, the southern kingdom of Judah. And these kingdoms have been rocking along for a while by the time we get to Jeroboam the second. Probably the easiest way for us to kind of figure out the time frame for Jeroboam is you'll remember the prophets Elijah and Elisha. Well, Jeroboam the second is a little bit, maybe 60-ish years after the death of Elisha. So he's the king in the northern kingdom, the capital in Samaria. And things hadn't been going well in this northern kingdom for a while. The borders had been shrinking. King Hazael of Syria had been coming in and really exerting his dominance over the kingdom at that point in time. And so there wasn't really much to look forward to in the kingdom of Israel until Jeroboam II comes along. He reasserts dominance. He expands the borders back to where they should be. He reigns for 41 years. He provides some stability for the kingdom. Jeroboam II, everybody's favorite king. Even Judah, the southern kingdom, experiences some stability because he's there. King Uzziah is king for the most of that time as well. He reigned for over 50 years. It was a good time for the kingdom. After all, we read in 2 Kings chapter 14, starting in verse 23, in the 15th year of Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel, began to reign in Samaria. He reigned 41 years. Verse 25, he restored the border of Israel from Lebo-Hamath as far as the sea of Arabah, according to the word of the Lord, the God of Israel, which he spoke by his servant Jonah, the son of Amittai, the prophet, who was from Gath-Hepher. For the Lord saw the affliction of Israel was very bitter, for there was none left, bond or free, and there was none to help Israel. But the Lord had not said that he would blot out the name of Israel from under heaven. So he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam the son of Joash. Now the rest of the acts of Jeroboam and all that he did and his might, how he fought and how he restored Damascus and Hamath to Judah and Israel, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? And Jeroboam slept with his fathers, the kings of Israel, and Zechariah his son reigned in his place. Things are good, right? Borders expanded, there's peace. 41 years. Except if you're reading along with me, you'll notice we skipped a verse. Verse 24. And he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not depart from all the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, which he had made Israel to sin. See, whether something's good or not depends on how we're measuring it. During Jeroboam II's reign, what we find is that, I guess in this prosperity, they decided to oppress the poor. The priests were leading the people astray. There is political corruption, there is social corruption. The morals of the people are declining even more. Not only that, they're worshiping other gods. And the icing on the cake is that they have not departed from the sin of Jeroboam the first, Jeroboam the son of Nebat. You see, Jeroboam the first was the first king of this divided kingdom. He didn't want people to go down to Jerusalem to worship. So he set up a golden calf on the southern part of the kingdom and the northern part of the kingdom for the people to worship the golden calves instead. Really, after all that happened in your history back at Mount Sinai with the golden calf, you're going to put a golden calf now. But during Jeroboam II's reign, those golden calves are still there. And the people are still worshiping, and they're still being led astray. You see, it might look like this is success, at least from the world's perspective, but God's got a different perspective. It matters what stick we're measuring by. Clue number one should be, when you have 3 prophets prophesying during your reign as king, there might be something wrong. The Lord might want you to pick up and see something. And so this sermon series, we're going to look at the 3 prophets that prophesied during the reign of Jeroboam II. The prophets Hosea, the prophet Amos, the prophet Jonah. The first 2 help us see that there is a different measuring stick to measure by, and they're trying to call Israel back to the Lord. Jonah has to learn himself that God sees things differently than we see things. And so we'll look at what this different measuring rod is. Second clue is, after this long reign of Jeroboam II, his son Zechariah reigns for 6 months. Then he's assassinated. There's no more dynasty that happens after this. Actually, a little over 2 decades later, Assyria comes and conquers Israel and takes them into exile. It is not a good day for them. It might be a short-lived glimpse of prosperity from the world's perspective. But the long-term outlook doesn't look good in history. And the long-term outlook, if they don't get right with God, doesn't look good for eternity. I think there's a lesson for us to learn as we look at these prophets, Hosea, Amos, and Jonah. Because not only do they have a word for the day of Jeroboam II, but I think they have a word for our day as well. A word that says, be careful what you measure success by. Be careful what measuring stick you use. Do you measure things by the world's perspective, or do you measure things by the Lord's perspective?